All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Men Who Throw Frogs podcast, where 6 viewers who tune in at various different minutes through the day.
I texted Trace to tune in. But
We are
anyways.
back again with with another episode, and we're here for your, excuse me, viewing displeasure.
That's
Yes.
one way of putting it.
Yep. With us today, we got Corvo again. Obviously, I'm still Nate, and
I'm Henry.
Henry is now visiting with us today.
Wild Heen.
One of the regulars. So, welcome everybody
Hopefully
who's
he
here.
doesn't sleep through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna post. And a
There
few
we go.
channels
Just
saying
get
that we
that in
are
there
live.
for the culture.
All right. Okay. Posted everybody that we are live, and
Yep.
we are officially here to have a poor day.
Sure. So, what do we start out with today?
Well, first of all, we have to address why you, Corvo, worry about people. Specifically,
Yes.
Nate.
So, last night we were
Specifically,
playing,
Nate?
and we were all just hanging out, having a good time. And Corvo goes, "You know what? Sometimes I worry about you guys." I was like, "What the hell?" My druggy friend worries about us, and he was specifically you, Nate. I'm like, surprised. So I really wanted to discuss it with him last night, but I guess we decided we would hold off until today.
Because
So,
it'd be a good topic.
yeah, it's a good topic. All right,
I
Corvo,
don't
let
know.
fly.
I think the main thing I worry about y'all with is just. How do I put this without sounding like a complete and total tool?
That's okay. You always sound like a complete and total tool.
It's a fair point. I worry about y'all because sometimes y'all lead very boring, basic lives. And that I should try more to, broaden y'all's horizons. I guess. Be the main thing. Part of it being I feel like y'all don't take a whole lot of risks with shit that y'all should take risks with.
I mean, that makes sense. A lot of us are at the age where taking risks is not only a good thing, but also
A
expected. I mean,
necessary thing.
yeah, we're all young. We're all mostly healthy. And, we can afford to take these risks.
Throwing shade, Nate.
Hey, I'm not talking about Henry. I'm talking about myself. I mean, look at these big old chunky buff arms.
I've lost a lot of weight since moving
Yeah,
to
you're a
South
friggin'
Carolina.
twig.
Dude, I'm down like 40 pounds
Hey, you want to have
Since
40
you
of my
from my
moved?
pounds?
usual weight. Yeah,
I'll
since
give
I
you 40 of
moved.
mine. Yeah, I'll get the. Here, I got my razor blade on my desk, still from last episode. It's still here.
Oh my god.
Has
And
it been used?
Yes, I will use it. I will shave off some more weight for you, and I'll put it in a Ziploc and have FedEx ship it over there post haste.
I think it's just supposed to be you're supposed to pay me a pound of flesh, not 40 pounds.
40 pounds. That's what you're getting. Take it or leave it.
Nah.
And it's not flesh. It's fat.
Yeah, I'm sitting at like 152. I think right now.
And I wish I am sitting at a
This is a horrible
moderate
weight for me.
340.
It feels bad most of the times, but a lot of it is just like the food here isn't as good because I mean Louisiana, like the food is just better. Like there's no place that has better food. Like even Texas, Texas has great food, great restaurants and stuff, great mom and pop places, but nothing like Louisiana. Like Louisiana, everywhere the food is just good. Like even the fast food places is better.
I feel like
Well,
that's the same for, because I grew up in Colorado, and I feel like that's the same there. There's just better restaurants there, better places to eat. I mean, we have
See,
obviously
when
the
I was
same
in Colorado,
chains.
even some of the restaurants and stuff were good, but I don't know, they just didn't feel right after eating
It's
them.
a
Like they
different
weren't
kind of
as
food.
good.
You know, you're
Yeah.
talking about Western food versus Southern food.
Which Southern food is just all around is better for you in like so many ways.
Also,
Not better for you.
having
No way
you
is
had
it better
moved-
for you.
Oh no, it's significant because hardly any of this is processed.
Okay, now you're talking
In
about
the South,
quality of the
like,
food.
none of it
Absolutely. I'm
is-
talking about like
yeah.
fat percentages.
I mean, even fat, you're supposed to eat a decent amount of fat.
No, you're right.
Like grits and stuff, which is essentially just concrete mix
Yep.
that you eat. It's literally wet cement. Even that's better for you than like most things people eat out in like California and shit, where all these
Isn't-
people are like health nuts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like no,
It's
like,
like
'cause you're-
like
trying
the
to keep the
cob
same
that you like
palate, though?
grind up and mix with a bunch of stuff.
what is it?
Grits is the corn cob, right? Like the thing.
I don't
that
know
the corn
exactly
comes
what
on.
grits is. I'm gonna be honest with
You're
you.
the southerner, and you don't even. What is?
I'm not the hugest fan of
grits
grits.
made of? I love grits, dude. Grits are
Have you been to
boiled
Louisiana, Nate?
cornmeal.
Boiled cornmeal. Have you been to Louisiana, Nate?
Briefly, yeah.
Weren't you in like New Orleans area?
No, not that area. So last time I was down south, I went to Tennessee, and I spent most of my time down there, and I
Do not
touched all the
qualify
neighboring
Tennessee as
states.
the South.
Hmm?
Do not qualify Tennessee as the South.
The Tennessee is the south.
That's Middle East of America.
The Middle East? No, it's not.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
Utah.
It's not South. I hate people like here in South Carolina though. We're Southerners. No, the fuck you're not. This is not the South. This is the East Coast. Like you're in the middle of
That
the
is
country
pretty
on the
East Coast.
east. They
Utah
irritate
just
me.
likes to be like, oh, the Utah accent. We say mountain instead of mountain, and it's like, motherfucker, everybody
that, like,
says
everywhere.
mountain. Everybody.
Yeah. Or
Everyone talks about
I
how
mean,
Utah has
one's
this-
more of like
the
creek
Utah
over
accent.
creek.
Utah doesn't
Creek
have
over
an
creek.
accent. That's the thing. It's
Hurricane.
Central American accent, and it's just there is no accent.
Yeah.
Utah's just trying to make itself special. I used to get upset that Utah stole
I don't
city
know
names.
what the Mason-Dixon line is. What is the Mason-Dixon line?
I don't know. All I know is that I used to get upset that Utah would steal city names. You know, we've got names like there's obviously every state
Okay,
has a
Virginia is
Springville,
not the South. that is
and
that is the worst line you could ever use.
I don't get upset that Utah steals names anymore because then you get names like Spanish Fork, American Fork, Provo, Nephi. These aren't town names.
No. I mean, at least you're not in Louisiana where everything is like, spell the name of this place, and you're. There's
know,
an
it's-
E there.
it's
There's like
all
three
French.
more over here.
It's
yeah,
all French.
The French language is
But
fucking.
it's like if
royal.
some guy comes up to you in a dark alley, puts a gun to the back of your head, and says, "You know what? Spell Massachusetts. I'm gonna shoot you right now," and you just say, "Shoot me."
Yeah, you're dead,
You're
man.
done.
Spell Lake Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain? Yeah, that one I got. I'm gonna clock out on that one.
I got you, fam.
What about the Atchafalaya River Basin?
Atchafalaya, Achafali.
No,
Punch
you already
train?
ruined Lake Pontchartrain.
It had an autocorrect when I googled it.
You know where I like?
Yeah.
Lake Tahosa. Oh, Tahosa. Good memories there.
What was the fucking Toledo Bend? That
You
was a
ever go up
huge place in
to
Louisiana.
Bear Lake?
No, I've never been up to Bear Lake.
Ah, that's a good looking place.
Have any of you been to Wolf Creek, Colorado?
I can't
Not
say I
that
have.
I can remember.
Wolf Creek is beautiful.
You got to go to Lake Tahosa. That, like I said, Tahosa. So I'm gonna put it on stream. Lake Tahosa. Images. Tahosa High Adventure Base Camp. Open image in new tab. Here we go. So those of you on stream can see it, and I'll put the image in the Discord as well. And there's just gonna be the token podcast topics, and it's just beautiful. It's a really fun place, really cool place. It's up in the mountains, and when it snows there, they get like feet of snow, like 10 feet, 12 feet, 15, 20 feet of snow.
Oh yeah.
And it's a stunning place to be.
Where is this at exactly?
Colorado.
Yeah, I know in Colorado, but like what by? Like what cities is it by?
Um, let's see. I'm gonna pull up on the map. It is Firestone is nearby. Johnstown, Loveland, Estes Park is nearby
Why is it showing Lake Tahoe for Lake Tahoe?
because
I opened
Tahoe's
up
more
maps and
popular.
immediately went to Lake Tahoe. And I was like, it's not near Sacramento. I know this.
It's northwest of Boulder,
Oh, okay. Now I can see it.
which Boulder is just absolutely beautiful. Oh, my father posted. He says it's in Ward, Colorado. So it's beautiful up there. I love the mountains in Colorado. They're so green.
Oh,
Mountains
dude.
here in Utah are just dead.
The best place for winter, arguably.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
I will say, as much as I love Colorado, living in Montana for that time was probably some of the best. Montana and like the whole Wyoming and Montana area,
Yeah.
like all that in between is like Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole is fucking beautiful, and it is a
And it
wonderful
really
town.
is. If you go
Like it
to
is the genuine small town.
well, and it's you go to like Steamboat or Copper. There's skiing towns up in Colorado, and they're just these little towns with 20, 30 buildings and very small town vibes and beautiful weather, especially when it's snowing. Just the mountains are it's just white and bright and clean. It's just peaceful, relaxing. I need to go back. I need it to snow here so then I can take like a weekend and get
Do y'all
a
get much
log
snow over there
cabin.
in Utah?
Hmm?
Do y'all get much snow in Utah?
So
Not
a year
not
ago,
not down in the valley really, but
so
like up in the
up
mountains
in the
you
mountains we
get
get
a
a ton.
lot.
A year ago, it was like a week ago, I was listening to the radio on my way to work, and they said 1 year ago to the day, we had 8 feet of snow in the mountain. And then this year, same day, it was 70 degrees outside, like 78.
Yeah.
So this year's just, I mean, it's been really, really hot here in Utah this year. And
Dude, it was hot over here. I
I think the
can't.
whole U.S. has
I'm
been
so
hot this
glad I
year.
wasn't in Louisiana for this summer. Like, oh, dude,
Oh, I
fuck
bet you it was
that.
bad.
Everybody I talked to over there was like, dude, it's hectic. Because the humidity was off the fucking charts, and it
Yep.
still is right now. Like, it's a good 90 degrees over there right now.
I'm sure there's just bugs galore, too.
Oh, dude, fuck. I used to get these little gnats and stuff in my house. I never could, like, exterminators called. Nobody knew how to get rid of them. They're like, yeah, these are just household gnats you're just going to always have problems with. And, dude, they were fucking everywhere.
That's what they do.
And I,
Bugs' whole purpose: wake up, eat, have sex, die.
that
That's
is their
it.
daily schedule.
Basically.
What is the lifespan of a fly? It's like 1 day or some shit.
I think it's 3 days.
3
3 days to
days?
a week or something like that, yeah.
Dude, the
crazy.
roaches in Louisiana were horrible.
Bugs
You
haven't
could
been
try
that bad this year.
anything.
See, that's one of the nice things about Colorado and Utah is the bugs. When you have a really, really cold winter, the next summer you don't have as many bugs. This last winter was pretty cold, so this time around we didn't have near as many bugs as in previous years.
Dude, there's hardly any insects here in South Carolina. Like, when I was staying at the hotel, like, just got into South Carolina, going outside and stuff, they're like, oh, it's almost nighttime. I get eaten up by mosquitoes in this shirt. I go out there, there's fucking nothing.
Yeah,
Just not a single bug just buzzing around you at all. Even like walking through the woods and stuff, like going on the hiking trails, nothing.
it's because the chemtrails. Not only are they turning the frogs gray, but they're killing all the bugs.
Thank yeah, fuck the insects, bro.
I think that's one thing everybody can get on board with.
Yeah.
Now, spiders we need. Spiders are cool. Bees
You
Stop
live
we
in,
grabbing
need.
like-
places though.
If you lived
We
in like a
need
Slavic
bees.
country or up north, you wouldn't have to worry about bugs ever.
Oh yeah,
You'd have to worry about bears and wolves, but not
and moose.
bugs.
But you know what? They know you, and they're like, "Hey, check it out. It's
There's a
Vlad. Stay away from
place
that guy."
in Mississippi I used to go to called Lake Tiacata. It's a nice little like vacation spot. And they have like all these different like housing places that you can stay in while you're there. They have like motel rooms or like their little hotel, and then they have the A-frames, and then they have cabins, and they have some other places. and well, by like where the schools and stuff and like the summer camps would send the kids to stay at, they had these bathrooms, and they were the worst areas because when you went to the bathrooms around the back, the wall up at the top by the ceiling is just littered in daddy long legs, like thick. You can't see the paint of the wall. They're that thick, and they're
Man.
fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
Biggest daddy long legs you'll ever see. They're fucking massive.
So I was learning about spiders, and part of the reasons why they don't get so big nowadays being the last few million years, is because there's not as much oxygen in the environment. So I started thinking, what if we could take containers and pressurize them with an increased amount of oxygen, and then raise generations of spiders? Could we get the spiders to become dog-sized?
Fuck that.
Then arises the question of why would you want that?
Right.
Then the question
that's
arises: why do you want eight-legged freaks to be reality?
That's the science. Didn't stop to think if it should. They just wanted to see if they could. But the reason why is since there's not as much oxygen, the way their lungs work is they don't have like an active breathing system as we do, per se. They just kind of let oxygen just go across it. And since their lungs aren't, or this it's not, since we don't have an oxygen-rich environment, they can't absorb as much oxygen, so they can't grow as big. So if you grew these dog-sized spiders and then set them free in the world, they would die
They would just die.
because there's not enough oxygen.
Ha.
Imagine
Debunked
being up
eight-legged
north though.
freaks.
Well, no, growing them and see if you could get them bigger and how many generations it would take to grow dog-sized spiders.
Did they
Oh,
actually
man.
do this experiment? Did it yield anything?
Oh, I've got no clue. Somebody's probably doing it somewhere, but
I
or
want
Can you
somebody
to.
imagine
has
being
done
up in like Canada though, or like up north and seeing like a dog
a
slave, but
dog-sized
instead
spider
of
just
wolves,
hanging
it's
out in a
just
tree
It's
and
spiders.
just like,
it's wolf spiders.
there's a
yeah,
pack
pulling
of
someone around
spiders.
in a cart.
Have you seen
Oh,
the camel
man.
spiders?
Dude, those things are
Yeah, those
mean.
things are huge.
They're
Fuck's
just big
sake!
old
Freaking
eat bats.
nasty.
Yeah,
I
the
mean, they're almost
bats
as
over
bad as
there.
one in Australia. Okay, nuclear holocaust. Would you rather try and
Nuclear
survive it
holocaust or apocalypse?
here? Holocaust. Nuclear holocaust. Would you rather survive here in the States, where bombs may or may not have been dropped, or in Australia, where bombs have not been dropped?
Probably Australia.
But the
Better
thing is,
food supply in Australia.
If
Well,
I could
okay.
just live on the
Sustainable
coast,
lives.
Australia.
it doesn't matter. Just in Australia or here, because
I mean,
here,
even if I
you're
started
gonna have to
out
deal with
inland,
radioactive infected monsters. Down there, you got to deal with Australian wildlife. I don't know
Yeah, I'm
which one's
fine with that.
worse.
I watched Andrew Euclides, bro. That guy was like trying to fight a lion, just barehanded, no shirt. I have to send you those videos, dude. He's hilarious. Literally just goes out. He's like, I'm gonna catch this kangaroo barehanded. I'm gonna wrestle this fucking like water buffalo. See these
Oh, no.
lions out here? I'm gonna try to lure them closer by acting like a wounded animal. And they're
This
just
guy's still
like
alive?
not having any of it. I think so. I saw one article that said he died, and then I saw another thing that's like he's back. I was like, he resurrected, but it's like he's not actually dead. So I have no idea if he's still alive or not.
Made a deal with the devil and now he's back.
Yeah, that's right. He's got to come back to touch more lions.
He'd catch like vultures and fucking eagles and stuff, dude. He was wild. Emus, wild
about-
cats and stuff.
What about that guy that was testing every bug on the pain index? The
Oh.
pain sting index.
Coyote was his
Yep.
name, right? Coyote something coyote.
Someone actually did that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He went and he found all the most painful animals on it. Oh, then most of them are insects. And let them bite him. Or made them bite him.
It's like Coyote Peterson. Is that it?
That sounds
Yeah,
right.
Coyote Peterson.
He got stung by the bullet ant, which is named because when it stings you, it feels like you got shot.
Stung twice. Scorpion fish versus lionfish. Neither of those are good.
I would think that guy would be dead of all people.
Yeah, you'd think.
How do we lose Crocodile Hunter and not Coyote Peterson?
Yeah. It's because the government planted a drone. Wasn't a real manta ray.
It wasn't a real
True.
man. It's a drone.
This man's too dangerous to be left alive.
That's right. He's too wholesome for the
Even
world.
Cat Williams thought he was like one of the most gangster people in the world. And that's fucking Cat Williams.
Yeah, the crocodile hunter was something else.
And now his son does wild shit. Not as wild as his dad.
Well,
does,
his
but-
daughter does too. They both work at a wildlife preserve, I think.
I didn't even know he had a daughter.
Yeah, he's got 2 kids.
Mhm.
I think
s-
mom
the
works with him
most
too or
recent
something.
thing I saw the son do was he was comparing the bite force between sharks and either alligators or crocodiles. I think it was alligators though. And sharks beat them by a margin.
I'm not surprised.
Which I mean, even still, I'd rather be in the water with a shark, to be honest, over like a saltwater croc.
Yeah, that's because crocodiles are mean. Sharks are just gonna be like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
I'm
sharks,
big, baby.
depending on the shark, but most sharks are more curious. The oceanic shark, not a chance. They'll just eat you. They eat anything. They're literally called shipwreck sharks for a reason. Anything
Yeah.
goes down, they're like, there's fucking food out there. I can eat this.
Time to go get some
And-
license plates.
They use, I can't remember what type of, I think it's like a whale or something like that, but it's like the smaller ones. But they use them like hunting dogs. They'll like follow them around or some shit, and it'll lead them to like larger fish and shit. It was wild.
So, with respect to the different animals, wildlife, and then also like, I guess, weather, climate, is there an ideal place that one should live, or do you think there's a place that's ideal for one of you
You
guys?
talking about like
to live?
a certain situation or just overall?
Just like
go-to place?
overall, like, climate with and also with like animals and
Jackson.
stuff.
Finland's really good. Finland's not nearly as bad. I think Norway's pretty good.
Can confirm.
I mean, you could also say Italy.
Yeah, but Italy's. I'm thinking more of like sustainability wise.
Oh, I'm thinking geography and climate.
Then
Like,
Finland beats out
money is
Italy.
no object. I'm gonna have food forever. I'm gonna have fuel forever. Whatever I need forever.
Like
and I get to
Finland has
pick where I
rough
live.
winters, but not nearly as bad as a lot of people think.
Okay, that's fair. But in Italy, it just rains.
I mean, then you could just say Seattle.
Yeah, but Seattle can get snow.
That's a good thing. We like snow.
No, it's a good thing. You're right. But Italy, it's mostly just clear skies, kick back, relax, enjoy the beautiful views, and just enjoy life.
I mean, if we're talking about more of those areas, I would probably say Venice. Venice is fucking beautiful, and it's a huge
It
trade
is.
hub. Trade hub still. There's a lot of different shit going on over there. My brother just got back from Greece about a couple weeks
I bet
ago.
he was a
think.
king over there.
Not my
Oh,
brother.
you
no.
have
Only,
$10
only
in bank
spent
account?
$1.
I don't know
Spent
why.
$1 for a 3-month stay.
That's right.
No,
You've
my
got
brother's.
$10 in your bank account?
But he learned a lot of like the cooking shit over there. But he was like, "Oh, it was nice. You should have gone with us." I have no interest in Greece. Like their mythology is cool and all, but that's like the only Greek thing that I like.
I would go for the architecture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stare at sculpted rocks for that long. That'd be like a few day trip, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna backpack to somewhere more interesting.
Yeah, I'd go for like a week or two. Leave it at that.
Trying to think of what else would be nice. My brother wants to go to Japan like so badly.
Japan would be
The
cool.
last he was supposed to go, like him and his buddies. They had this whole plan set out and everything, and then COVID hit, and it just shut all those plans down.
Yeah.
He's just like, well, we can't do that anymore, and then it just kind of fell through. We ended up going to Greece with some of our family and my cousin.
$1 is equal to about 350 Greek drachmas.
How much is rent over there in drachmas? Am I
Probably
gonna
like
be able to go over there, just buy the country, and start as many wars
it's
as I
probably
want?
like 350,000 drachmas a month. So $1,000 a month here. All right, Henry. We all know you would pick either Taiwan or Thailand.
Thailand?
Tisk, Henry.
Tisk.
You
Is
had
that
an
really where you would
opportunity to
pick
stay
to go
DOS.
and just like live out your days?
You know, it's a really nice. If you lived up in north in Thailand, it's like
I'm
nice
not
and
asking you to
cool.
justify. I'm asking was I correct in my assumption?
Oh man, you know,
You got
if I were
30
to
years
live
to
out the
live.
rest of my days,
You got 30
like,
years to live. You don't have to worry about food, fuel, money, nothing. Where do you go to
yeah,
live your last 30 years?
probably like north of Thailand. If not Thailand, then probably in
Australia.
Norway because, well, I have family over in Norway, but it's just a beautiful country, really
It
nice.
I
is.
I
wouldn't be
like
able to
it.
do Norway because their laws on substances is very
So
strict.
Corvo is going to go become the mayor of Holland.
Nah, I'm straight up just Australia.
Australia
Like
would
if
be really cool.
I have like a time limit set for myself, I would just get a nice boat, some property like right on the coast, and then just that's it. That's where I'm living. Get a couple women out there. I'll be set.
Only a couple.
Well, I mean, I only really need one if Anna Batman is down, but
Oh my hell. I would probably Australia as well, but some not on the coast, someplace more cold, and just get 4 or 5 acres. Just get some dogs.
yeah.
At some point, can we
That'd
just
be sweet.
all buy either we all pitch in for a boat together or one of us buys a boat and we just like live on the coast of Australia for a few months?
Look, Henry, I know what you're asking me to do.
Corvo, if you'd be so kind,
I'll consider it.
That would be fun.
just like
That would be a
fish
hard
every
thing to turn
You ought
morning.
to have to at least get drunk with me once for me to even consider it fully, though.
So what you're saying is we need to get Nate drunk.
I think I'm the last. Jackson and I think, are the
You,
last two to
Nate,
hold out.
Trace.
I think Trace, we could probably get Trace.
I think that Jackson and I are the last two holding out. Stay strong, brother.
Don't do it, Jackson. Don't
Okay,
be a Nate.
I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle. I will be back.
Wow, Nate's the first one to leave.
Now we can talk
John
behind
him.
his back.
Yeah,
Just
he'll
have a
never
seat.
find out what we're saying.
Just have a
Can
seat for
still
the first
hear
episode.
Still has his headphones on.
Yeah. Nate, watch out for that spider on the floor.
I found it. Don't worry.
Don't slip on that banana peel I hid.
We're the men who throw frogs.
Does Trace drink?
I don't think
Jackson
so.
says Trace
I
drinks.
know he's at least been considering it for when he said when he goes to Disneyland he's definitely going to do it. But
I think he's dabbled, but I don't think he's like routine.
Mm.
yeah, so
What
I don't think he has
is-
he knows what he likes
It's like
yet.
the worst place to get drunk at.
Yeah, I don't know. He wants it to be special. I don't know. Like
I would understand, like, your first time ever getting really drunk, you want to make it, like, something
No,
somewhat
no, no, no,
memorable.
no. If your first time getting
But,
drunk,
like-
you want an authentic experience. You got to go to the dumpster behind an Applebee's and get wasted on Modelo.
No!
what are we, hobos in high school? Like what's going on here?
There was a homeless kid I went to high school with. It was weird. He was an odd person. Funny enough, he wasn't the smelliest kid at school, even though he was homeless.
Yeah, that's
I had a guy like that at my school growing up. He
Wow.
just kind of stank.
There was this kid, Anthony, and I remember in our geometry class, our teacher, sweet lady, she's super nice. Literally just in the middle of talking, she stops and she goes, "You have to leave the class." She's like, "You're sitting in the front and I can, the smell is so strong, sweetheart." She's like, "I need you to
That
step
had
out of the
just
class."
must have destroyed that one student's self-esteem for life.
I mean, it was already destroyed, but he was a fucking weirdo.
Still,
He's one of those dudes that thought he was like hot shit and could talk to a lot of girls, but he got shut down so many times that he was just like
Corvo,
permanently depressed.
are you talking about yourself?
Fuck no. I think I've only ever been turned down, I think like maybe 4 times.
That's because
in
you
my entire
offer them
life.
money.
Not every time.
Just the 4 times.
But it's not even me just offering money. It's they're like, oh, this guy's got money. Like, let me milk this for a few dates. But it's like that's one of the assets I have. It's not like I'm gonna get upset about it.
4
See, my
times he
assets
gets
are my
rejected is when he doesn't
beautiful
pay.
hair, my beard.
My hair is. Let's be honest. My hair is better.
No. No.
Yes.
We all know mine's the best.
Henry,
That's a
your
fair
bald
point.
is shit.
That's why
So-
it's better, Nate.
Henry, are you
Can't have bad quality if it doesn't exist.
okay? Fair enough. Are you balding, or do you have like the full head of hair?
So I'm balding, kind of. I mean, it's really thin on top. Like, it's a lot thinner than the sides, and so I just shave it off because it doesn't look good. I don't
You
think.
don't want that like 1200s monk style.
You don't want the comb over?
Well, it's like if I had like a lighter hair color, I'd be like one of those grandmas where you look through the top of their head and it's just like, they have a full head of hair, but you could just see right through it, type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Thin as
not-
fuck and clear.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with, and so that's why I just
Pull Bill
decide not to
Burr.
have it.
Bill Burr's a redhead. He just shaves it.
Just shaves it.
Yeah.
I used to shave my hair. Used to be
I
bald.
never shaved my head. Most I've ever done weirdly with my hair was dye it.
What,
Alright,
you
what's
an e-girl?
the strangest
No,
hairstyle?
It was a
you've gone
girlfriend
with?
of mine at the time. She was just like, "Hey, you ever thought about dyeing your hair?" It's like, "No." She's like, "I want you to dye your hair black."
Oh.
Okay, she's
black
like, "I'll
is
do it
how
for
we
you." She dyed it black. I had black hair for a little while, and it's like, okay, now my hair is not black.
Would you
Which my-
consider
My
having
hair
green
used
hair?
to be considerably blonde.
Let's
Like
get you
my
green
hair is
hair,
not nearly
Corvo.
as blonde as it used to be.
That's
my
what
hair
happens
is
when you work inside. When you work
dirty
outside,
now.
you get sun bleached.
Yeah. But I mean, even when I was working like the plants and shit outside, it like my hair stopped being really blonde towards the end of, I would want to say like maybe middle school or freshman year of high school. It just started darkening out considerably.
I didn't know they had high school in the 1800s.
Fuck you. How dare you?
Why are you taking offense? You're the one who says he's immortal.
Hmm.
It's because I am. I have yet to be proven wrong. I mean, I'm still
Well,
here.
that's
I've done
technically
some
true.
pretty wild shit that I should not have survived through, so there's that.
Would you bleach your hair?
No.
No,
Not your beard, but just like your hair.
No.
no. Like, how bleached are we talking here? Like a platinum blonde? Or are we talking like white, white?
Like white.
No.
I might for like if I was gonna do Santa Claus.
If I were gonna do Geralt, I would, but I would probably, moreover than anything, just get a wig, or just like some temporary dye that like washes out the next day or something. That'd be the only way I would do a lighter color hair. Because I remember looking back on some like the old pictures of me, like in like old yearbooks and shit, and just that blonde hair. I was just like, I hated it. It never, to me, it never looked good. And it was me growing up that blonde is partly why I'm not the hugest fan of blonde girls. Because I just hated the way my hair looked blonde.
All right. What do you think is the worst hairstyle?
Bald.
Thanks.
Are we talking about on girls or on guys? Or just all the
let's
above?
just say in general. In general,
Um.
I don't like pixie cuts for one on girls.
Which one's the pixie cut?
It's like the short, like. Maybe I'll just I'll get. A
Maybe
picture
I've
of
been
it
single
for-
too long, but that one I kind of like.
It depends on what she looks like. If she's got a good enough face, some of them can pull it off.
I
If
think the
she's
haircut
like-
has to match the face.
I think if she's thinner, a pixie cut can work, but if she's like a big girl,
Like a
then
thick girl, like no,
yeah,
pixie cut
no.
will not work.
I hate it when guys are like full balding. They got the big old horseshoe, and they just try and keep the sides going. It's like,
Dude, just shave the rest of
or
it, please.
that's fine if you keep the sides going. Okay, fine, keep it short. But when they do like the comb over, what are you
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
be like a corrupt landlord from the '60s? Stop.
Fuck yeah. Shout out to my old landlord way back in the day. He
Yeah,
like,
had that
Steve.
hairstyle though.
If you're going bald, go
That was
bald.
close.
Commit.
Stefan,
Stefan?
not
Oh, wow.
Steve, but Stefan.
Close,
Yeah,
it's close,
I was stupid close. What the fuck? Henry found out where I lived at the time.
He's just waiting to dox you.
Yeah, I got my record.
Live on stream, Henry has Corvo's location.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's got it down to minutes, hours, and seconds.
All right, bowl
Holy
cut.
shit.
What do you think?
Bowl cut?
cut.
No,
I
never.
Rat
used to not-
tails or mullets? What do you think?
No, I'm not a mullet fan.
See, I'm not the hugest mullet fan, but honestly, some people I'm okay with it. Like Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn has a mullet and it fits him. So long as it fits the person, I'm fine with.
Yeah, honestly,
and if
they're
they
not
own
my
it,
favorite
you
thing,
know?
but yeah, as long as you commit to it and it's just what you're doing, that's fine. I'm not gonna
All right.
have one.
You combine a bowl cut, but it fades into a mullet.
A bullet,
A bullet mullet.
a BOWLET, bullet.
I don't know. I still think the shaved sides mohawks are the weirdest.
I
I've
used to be
done that
not the
before.
biggest fan of bangs. Like I used to not like bangs, but I kind of like bangs now. For women,
Yeah.
not for
Some
men.
pull it off.
I see that. All right, long hair on a girl or short hair?
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
I like a girl with like really long hair, but I'm honestly not as picky about hair as I used to be.
I'm
Used
still
to, I
gonna
was
stick
pretty
with the
picky, but-
classic adage: find a girl with a brain. They all have vaginas.
I mean, you're kind of right.
Maybe that's not true in 2022
Used-
anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, used to that would be accurate. Nowadays, it's like hitting the fucking mystery box. You don't know what the fuck's about to pop out.
Yeah, that's true sometimes. Just as long as it's smaller, then it's okay.
Oh god.
Jesus Christ. That's fucked. That's so fucked in so many ways.
Yeah, you don't want
Oh,
to feel
Lord.
inferior. That's
That's
right.
I don't want to feel inferior.
I know we probably asked this question. Nate, would you let a girl peg you?
Now it depends.
Depends. Like, love of your life, you're married for like 5 years, and she's like, I really wanted to try this, but I've been too scared, but can I
Well, yeah.
please peg you?
If she's the love of my life, then yeah.
All right,
Say
what's
it's
the
like-
limit to it?
Say
Like,
it's wedding night. And
in and
she's-
out, or are you talking like
We're not
what
gonna
is your
have this
go-to
discussion in
limit?
too much depth, okay?
We're having this discussion in extreme detail.
Not
How
in
deep-
extreme detail.
How
Remember,
big
we-
of a dildo are you letting her
Oh
use?
my-
Are we talking
we're
like,
on
Talking
YouTube
Big Mamba,
right now,
or are we
sir.
talking like
or are you gonna go exotic? You gonna let her go in there with like a bad dragon dildo
Oh my
or
gosh.
something?
How to Train Your Bad Dragon?
a two-horned?
Would you let her use a fuck machine on you?
Corvo, would you let her use a fuck machine on you?
He's thinking
How
about
drunk
it.
does she get me first? And is it Anna Batman?
There you go.
Because if it is, fuck it, I'm rolling the dice.
Right? The things we do for love.
The things we do for the most attractive woman in the world.
The things we take up the butt for the most attractive women in the world.
Now, would you let her put a small vibrator in your ass? Your dad's loving this conversation.
I know, I'm really hoping he's not tuned in right now. Like, I'm seeing 4
Sorry,
viewers.
Mr. Lundgren. This is just who I am.
Oh, man. How about we ask Henry some of these questions now? Because I'm
Henry,
I'm
would
about
you
as
let
red
your
as I can
ideal,
get.
Speaking of ending the stream,
Henry's
Henry,
all-
would
you
you,
know
let
what?
your ideal Asian waifu put a vibrator in your ass, like a small one?
See, I'm less opposed to that than I would be like getting pegged.
Just straight up pegging.
Yeah.
Cottontail would never love you.
Cottontail. Ooh,
She has an
Cottontail, though.
OnlyFans now, just by the
I'm
way.
not surprised.
She doesn't show her face though. It's disappointing.
All right, we're gonna move on to a new topic.
What
And I just
topics
listed.
are we
I looked at
gonna
the
use?
screenshot you put in there, and I saw the fourth one down, and we are not gonna talk about that one. How about?
Just for
I'll
some
save that for a
clarification.
future day.
Okay, if animals could,
Okay.
if animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Cats.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I feel like the most gangster ones would either be like raccoons or seagulls.
Seagulls would just
Seagulls
be
are
like,
fucking savage,
but
bro.
they're just dumb, dude. They'd be the jocks.
No, they're
Just like,
fucking
"Hey, hey,
hilarious.
give me your fries. Hey, hey.
No, I feel like that'd be like the eviler dogs.
Yeah, the little chihuahuas.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
a chimp would probably be
They're
the rudest.
fucking ruthless. No, that's more like your psychopath, like death row murderer. And
Jeffrey Dahmers.
no, because those are more along like the intelligent spectrum of psychopaths. Chimpanzees, I feel like, are just
Or like a crow would probably be like.
no. Crows are like highly intelligent and highly.
They're very
functional.
intelligent. So the whole family with crows, ravens, magpies, all those birds, they've
They're
exhibited
extremely
behaviors where they can not only mimic phrases but understand the connections
Have you seen
between
the-
phrases and what's going on. So when they say like food, then they know food means I'm gonna get some food or I want food. So
Have you seen the video where they set this like tube out with water in it, and the crows would go pick up pebbles and stuff and drop it into the tube to raise the water level so they can drink out of it?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was an entire experiment that they ran, and they ran up to it, drank a little bit of water out of it, and then it got too low, and they were like, "Shit, what can I use?" And they run around, hop around, grab rocks and stuff, and drop them in there. Stick their beak in there, drink a little bit more water, and then hop around, grab another rock, drop it in there, drink more, and repeat just over and over again until they had their fill, and then leave.
Have you seen the video of the? I think it was a crow. He picked up like a Pringles lid, and he flew up to the top of this roof that had snow on it, and then stood on top of the Pringles lid and slid down. And then he flew back up, and he went sledding on somebody's roof with the Pringles
Oh
lid.
man, dude, I would totally have one of them as a pet. I
They're
would choose a
smart.
raven though, probably.
They
Ravens
are
are bigger.
so smart, and they're actually they're really loyal birds too. Like I watched a video where somebody rescued one, and he would go walking with the dog. The German Shepherd would be out walking along just with the bird hopping along beside him, and the
Oh,
dog
dude, I would
stopping
want
to.
it riding on the back of my dog.
Yeah, he would sometimes. And the dog stops to smell something, and the raven hops down and is like, "What are we looking at? What are we checking out?" But of course, they smell different things. The dog's just smelling, checking his P-mail, and the bird's like, "What? What's going on? What are we doing?" Just no clue. Dog moves on. The bird's like, "Okay."
Dude, birds are like arguably probably one of the coolest animals.
Oh, absolutely.
Like at least like one of the more interesting ones. I would say like octopus are up there too. Octopus are pretty interesting, and they're like wildly intelligent in certain like manners.
There was a story I heard where there was an octopus who was in a cage, and roof was off, and he would just hang out in there, and like to do his thing. And there was a bulb that kept getting broken and fried near his cage, near his tank, and they didn't know why it kept breaking until one day a scientist saw the octopus come up to the edge of his tank and squirt water at the bulb and burned it out because he didn't
Just
like it.
didn't
Well,
like it.
he didn't like it shining into his tank. And so he would
Fucking-
purposely kill the bulb when he thought nobody was watching.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're pretty
Watching them
cool
like change
animals.
colors and shit.
Yeah, they can change colors too. It's crazy.
Armadillos are pretty cool. They're like these
They're
little like.
fucking disgusting though. They carry leprosy.
I'm not
Really?
surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they
they're
carry
gross.
leprosy. Like that's one of the huge things you learn like growing up, like because you have armadillos fucking everywhere.
Yep.
Like, because I would walk around at night, and I would walk the ex-wife's dog at night and shit. Just 2 o'clock in the morning, no leash, just fuck it, run around. Like we're gonna go for a walk, and the dog would stay close enough to me. Like armadillos out there, and they would get come out like during the day. It could be like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and they'd just be out in your yard, just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here right now."
They get pretty big too,
They do.
right?
They
Like
can jump.
you get like tall or like really high, like or
They
like
can jump pretty fucking high. Like they're springy. Because we used to like growing up in the neighborhood, we would see them and we would chase them around with baseball bats.
as
Why
you
not?
do.
When you were a
'Cause you're
kid,
kids.
and like, cause the parents were like, we don't like them digging in our yard. Like they're literally just tearing up the yards and shit. So if you see them, scare them off. We're like, well, we're gonna make a game out of it. We're gonna try to beat the shit out of this animal, because we're devious children. Why not? And I remember we were chasing one through a ditch, and one of my buddies ran in front of it and jumped down the ditch to take a swing, and it jumped over like the edge of the ditch, and it was like one of the deeper ditches in our neighborhood is in front of Miss Linda's house, and it was a good like 3 foot deep, 3.5 feet deep. Just jumped clear out of it and just kept running. We're like, what the fuck? Like those things can jump. We were so shocked.
I was in Tennessee, and this guy was telling us how armadillos are just a possum with a half shell. And he remembers one time there was a possum in the yard, and I was going to eat that thing. So I had my bat, and I hit it with my bat 4 or
Clubbed
5
it.
times. Then I went back inside the house to get something. I came back out, and he was gone. I thought he was dead. And we were
No.
like, great.
Have you ever
This
seen
is-
one of those pink-shelled armadillos?
Mm-mm.
They're just pink.
Yeah, they're like small versions of armadillos, but they're just like pink. Yeah, they're like
That's what I think of mainly when I think of armadillos, are the pink ones.
they're like white, and then they have the pink shell.
Shale.
Shale.
Shell.
Damn, it's
Shell.
goddamn they're pink.
Oh
shale.
yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
Little round boys. Are they
almost
rodents
look
or are
like
they
pangoliers.
marsupials?
Or pangoliers. Pangolins. Almost what they look like is a pangolin. Armadillos are
Armadillos.
so disturbing.
They are mammals. I
You know
thought
what
that
animals
they
are really fucked up
were
growing up in the
rodents.
South? Fucking nutria rats.
Nutria rats.
Growing up, we had a kid in my
Ugh.
middle school who got a chunk taken out of his leg by one.
Yep.
He
they're
fell
mean.
asleep in his yard and it ran up and just like a baseball-sized chunk out of his leg. It was a weird thing
That's
for
gross.
you know, like it started the school year. Teacher's like, "So what happened over your summer vacation? What did you all do? We're to go around the class." He's like, "Yeah, I lost a part of my leg to a nutria rat." We're like, "What?" I spent most of my summer in the hospital. It's just like, okay.
That would suck so much. Especially as a
It gave
kid.
me diseases. I lost a part of my leg.
That would
Kept
be the worst.
emphasizing that part of my leg is gone. What the fuck?
All right, is there an ideal pet that you would have? Like, if you could have any pet,
Any
what would you
pet?
have? Any pet.
A dog
Black
that doesn't
leopard.
die. Doesn't
Black
get
leopard.
too old and never dies.
What is the longest living dog breed?
The longest living dog recorded is a blue heeler named Bluey, I think? Or Blue. She was in Australia, I think. 35 years old, if I remember correctly. You look like a Megamind with that light. Just
Yeah, it's Google.
you don't use dark mode?
Australian
No, I have a
cattle
dark
dogs.
mode. Where, like when I click to search shit, it goes white for some fucking reason. Yeah, Australian cattle dogs,
I like those.
longest lived. An incredible 29 years.
Yep.
Jesus.
The longest recording. Now, the longest current living one, I think, is a Chihuahua.
Apparently, Jack Russell Terriers have the highest life expectancy.
I'm not surprised. Breeds which are mixed by nature live a long, long time, more so than purebred ones. So, like Australian cattle dogs, Australian shepherds.
How long does a wolf live for?
They can live a little while. But the more mixed a breed is, then the more hardy the breed is going to be.
Oh,
And so it's going to last
16
longer.
years. Pretty good.
That's not bad. Do you guys like the dash hounds? Like the wiener dogs?
Oh, dachshunds?
Yeah.
Yeah, dachshunds
They're
are
not
fun.
my favorite. If I had to choose a dachshund, I would go the long-haired, just because typically they're prettier dogs
Oh, I like the short hair ones.
and they have arguably better personalities.
Oh, I would get a short hair one and name him Oscar.
Hyenas only
Oscar
live for
Mayer.
12 years.
Oscar Mayer.
Hyenas are pretty dope, but they're fucking ruthless animals.
Look up dingoes.
Lifespan of a dingo?
Of an Australian dingo.
7 to 10 years.
So up to about 50% of an Australian cattle dog's DNA can be dingo. They bred them with dingoes for jaw strength.
I can imagine. I feel like if you're gonna breed something for jaw strength, though, you'd have to breed it with a hyena. They have the strongest jaws.
Yeah, but they weren't looking for lockjaw. They weren't looking for.
Hyenas can chew through concrete.
Yes, I know, but
Fucking
you don't.
wild.
If you just need to nip the heel of the cow and make it run.
Yeah, but I want something that just fucks anything up.
Go get yourself a shark.
I would if
Like a
they
James Bond
survived through
villain.
captivity.
Like a James Bond villain.
Sharks don't live long in captivity. They live for like weeks and then they just die.
Hmm.
Or at least I think it's most sharks, or it might just be specific sharks that don't do well in captivity. But I
At
remember
least the one
watching
you
one
kept,
that
right?
They have to live in a big tanked environment if they're
they
to be
need
kept
a
in
large
captivity.
environment.
So otherwise, they either get depressed and then just stop swimming and then die, or two, they'll just run out of space to actually be able to keep moving.
What's like, I know I went to Morgan City a long time ago, and we went to, I can't remember what the place is called, but it's like Bayou tours, and they have like animals back at like their place, and their son there, he's like 16 years old. He has a pet alligator that's 14 feet. And this thing's a literal dinosaur, like older than that family. And they were just like, well, so why don't you always see these? We're like, well, a lot of them don't live long enough because they fight constantly and stuff. But like in captivity, they don't grow past their enclosure like a lot of other animals.
Yeah.
We're like, well, this one we caught out, and we're just like, we're gonna keep it, and then it grew bigger. And it was a fucking monster. And the kid would just get in there like in the enclosure with it, wearing flip flops, and just take one of his flip flops off and just pat it on the nose to get the mouth open and throw a piece of chicken in there. It's like, bro, if that thing lunges, you're dead.
Oh yeah.
You die at 16. Like, good job.
Yeah, but the crocodiles and alligators can kind of learn who will give them food and who won't. I'm not going to say they make friends, but they
Yes
learn.
and no.
They learn that if I eat this guy, that means food's not going to come as soon.
But you'd have to keep them fed for a while.
True.
They're not so intelligent that they think that far ahead that they're like, I recognize this person gives me food. It's more of you feed them, then you can kind of fuck with them a little bit more. Because if
There's a
they're hungry, like
video-
they're just gonna bite anything.
There's a video of a guy taking care of a bunch of crocodiles, and he needed to move them out of the way to get them like closer to the water hole or whatever. And he just goes in with a shovel and starts whacking them on the head, and
Dude,
and
they're
it's just like, bro,
tough as
like
fuck.
there's like
Yeah.
40 of them. You're not gonna like. He's just in there with his shovel whacking them on the head.
they're fast too.
They're mean. Oh yeah, crocodiles when they get going.
Growing up, a short time that I was in Boy Scouts, we went out to this one area where they had a bunch of alligators, and the guy that took us, like the leader, whatever the fuck he was, he's like, "Oh yeah, if you see an alligator, like don't run straight, zigzags." He's like, "Cause if you run straight, they can outrun a horse. Like they will catch you." I was like, "They can't outrun a horse." And I saw one run. I was like, "It might." It might be able to. Like them short, stubby legs, like they get up pretty high on them and they
Oh
just
yeah,
run.
they rise up
But
on
they
them and
have
just.
no turn radius. It's like,
Do you
so
know
yeah,
how the
just wrap around. You're fine.
do you know the main difference, or how you can tell between a crocodile and an alligator?
The nose.
When you say goodbye, an alligator will see
Oh,
catch you later,
Oh
and the
my god.
crocodile says in a while.
I hate you.
That's how you can tell.
That's the dumbest thing you could have ever said to me.
The easiest way to
That's right.
distinguish the difference.
That's the most scientific way.
Yeah,
Scientific.
can confirm.
Can't not, Henry. Stop throwing that out there. Don't mislead this innocent soul.
The one viewer we have.
Probably one of us.
Oh, Lordy.
But anyway, to answer the question, ideal
was a
pet that I would
question.
have, probably red panda. If I were to
Oh,
have
red
any
pandas
pet.
are fun.
Red pandas are awesome.
They're just little chunky boys. Just like to hang out and make friends.
I would build a little
Kinda like
playground
a
for them.
lemur.
Be great.
Or like
Get
a
a lemur, bro.
capybara.
Lemurs?
Dude, lemurs are pretty savage.
Yeah,
they're
but they're
fast
monkeys.
little
They're just
fuckers.
gonna beat the shit out of you and throw their poop at you.
Whenever, for some reason, whenever I think of a lemur, I always think of sugar gliders, but they're totally different.
Oh yeah, those are way different.
My cousin almost bought a sugar glider, and I was like, they're fucking nasty. Do not do
Yeah,
it.
don't get one of them.
They're
You'll regret it.
gross. Like, they're adorable little things, but fuck, they're disgusting.
You'll like them for a day or two, then you'll want to get rid of them.
For like household pets, dude, I have always loved ferrets. Ferrets are fucking awesome.
They're hilarious, but they're
Oh, dude,
stinky.
they are. Yeah, but I mean that you can kind of like manage this, like their stink glands with like I think through diet, and sometimes you can get them removed as well. But I hear that that's kind of like a bad thing to do to your ferrets.
Yeah, I could see that.
How different is a ferret from a weasel?
I think they're in the same family. I think they're closer to minks than they are to like weasels, I think. Isn't that like the marsupial family or some shit? Jackson, are you still here?
You go.
We're not
Maybe.
asking him about different species of dirt, okay?
Or
Nobody else thought that
mustelids.
was funny?
Well, I mean, he pointed out the like the
No,
raptors and
he's
stuff.
talked
Like
quite a bit about
vector birds.
animals.
They're mustelids.
Oh, that settles everything.
Yeah, I don't know what mustelids are, but
Yeah,
the weasel family, to the weasel family, aka mustelids, which includes polecats, stoats, and ermines.
So they're a type of
badgers,
weasel.
otters,
Dude, fucking badgers.
wolverines.
Capybaras.
Dude, stoats are adorable.
Bullfrogs?
Jeez.
That's it. Confirmed, bullfrog is the greatest pet.
Chinchillas.
Chinchillas are soft, but they are so smelly.
Ruthless.
You know, bringing it back to frogs, the men who throw frogs. What type of frogs are we throwing?
Or
They're
what type of
only
frogs are they?
American bullfrogs. That is the only frog that is canon on this podcast. All the frogs are government drones.
Oh, frogs.
American bullfrogs are the only real frog. You heard it here on the Men Who Throw Frogs podcast.
All the frog knowledge.
What about like the poison dart frogs?
Those are government drones.
Those
Or
are
like
government
the
assassins.
like the red-eyed tree frogs?
Those are government drones.
Oh, here you go, Henry. I got you a pet. Fennec fox.
Oh, fennec foxes.
Fennec frogs?
They're
It's the
zippy
little ones with
things.
those big fucking ears.
They got big old satellite ears,
Oh yeah.
and they're speedy too.
They look like one of like the Volpera from
Yeah,
WoW.
they do.
Would you
Yeah.
get a pet otter? I feel like otters
Yes.
are awesome.
Yeah,
Otters
they're
are
cool.
They just swim on their back and eat their food on their
On their belly,
chest.
they're just like.
Dude, they're fucking awesome.
They put something there and then grab a rock and they're all bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, they'll smash the head of the fish.
Or they put the rock on their chest and they're all. Bah.
I had a
Otters are
friend back in high school. Granted, they had a really large house and had like a small aquarium in like. I say small, but it's basically like its own building. But they had a couple otters for a little while.
Dude, I wish.
That'd be cool.
I would love otters. That was like one of my favorite things in like Ark, Survival Evolved. In certain maps, they had otters that you could tame, and they were just like passive tame. So you just grab a fish and feed it to it, and it's just like, all right, I belong to you now. And they ride on your shoulder, like on your back and shit. Dude, they were fucking awesome. They were adorable too. Would love to get just an animal like that. I used to have an albino leopard gecko that would ride on my shoulder,
Hmm.
but it was kind of sketchy because sometimes he would get adventurous and try climbing around on me, and I'm like, dude, if you lose your grip, you die from this fall.
Is this real life or is this Ark?
No, like I had an actual albino leopard gecko. He died some years back. He got sick from something. And I got home one day and he was just dead. I was just like, wow, all right.
They do that.
They're supposed to have a long lifespan. They live for like I think 25 years or something.
I would like to get an axolotl.
Those are pretty cool.
They're like a lizard, but they have the
Yeah.
gills on the outside of their head.
10 to 20 years.
We had
All right, Nate. Goliath frog. Is it a drone?
it's a drone. It's not an American bullfrog.
They get up to be about 7.2 pounds.
That's hilarious.
They're like about a foot long.
Look at those frog legs on them things, bro. That's
Is that
a
when it's
meal.
like a foot long stretched out, or is that like a foot long when they're in baseball mode?
Muscular fucking legs.
I think in baseball mode, about 12 inches.
Dad gum, those are big frogs.
All right.
Oh my gosh, there's one with a mouse sticking out of its head.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
With a tarantula? That's not a drone.
That's a hero.
That's a hero. A god
Not
amongst
all
mere
our
mortals.
heroes wear capes.
Half of them are Goliath frogs.
Half of them are Goliath.
Those guys are cool.
Oh, I see the one with the mouse. Yep.
Good lordy.
Big old chunkster frogs.
We can throw those frogs at people.
I think we'd have to get a fucking catapult for those.
Frog catapult.
I want to get a pet bullfrog. Just have him sitting in my house and just
Just get him a big like aquarium just behind you for the podcast.
just right
He's
there on the
just
wall.
chilling out. He'll be our mascot.
Put him on a shelf.
Bullfrogs are cool. They're not fat. Okay, they're a little speedy, but they're not smart. They're not.
I mean, it's
Special.
a frog.
But they're frogs. Frogs are
Did
cool.
any of you ever like find turtles and keep them as pets growing up?
We found a lizard on a camp one time. We brought her home. I think we ended up sexing the lizard too, figuring out the gender, and it was a female lizard. I think she was about that long, and we had her for I don't know how long. It felt like a couple years. We went on vacation, came home, and I think the person who was babysitting the lizard sitting didn't turn the heat lamp back on one day. Lizard dead.
Did y'all keep crickets?
I think
For
we
it?
fed her crickets, yeah.
Did you just go buy the crickets, or did you like have
we
an
went and got
aquarium?
we went and got crickets.
I did.
Because she
When I
wasn't
had
too
my-
big, so we wouldn't go catch the ones that were huge in the yard. We'd go get little teeny ones at PetSmart.
Well, yeah, you don't want to catch ones in the yard either, because I mean, a lot of times they can carry diseases that can kill
Pesticides
you.
and stuff, yeah.
When I had my leopard gecko, I had a separate aquarium that was just full of crickets, and they would constantly breed. So after a while, I was like, I don't think I have to go buy crickets anymore.
Yep.
'Cause I'd only feed them like 2 a day, so it's just like, all right. You cover them in this little calcium powder, just put them in a little bag, shake them up, drop him in there. Dude, he was hilarious to watch. Like hunt these crickets down, because he had a fat fucking tail. That was how you could tell if they were like healthy or not, was by the leopard gecko's tail.
Yep.
And he would stick that tail up when he'd see them, and then the end of it would start twitching. And right when he would go to lunge at it, it would just go fucking wild, like one of the inflatable tube men, just fucking all over the place. And he would lunge at it, and it would just be sticking out of his mouth at all angles. He just
I love.
huge grin
For
on
some
his
reason, I
face.
just love watching animals eat, just because their jaws, especially ones that have really long mouths, and they're just like, nom, nom,
Oh, dude,
nom,
get you a
nom.
leopard gecko. You'll be satisfied. I promise you. They're fucking hilarious, and they're chill as fuck.
Which
I want to
mine
get a
was chill. I
chameleon.
bought a female to try to like breed him to get more, and he killed her within like the first week. And it was just like, well, there goes that purchase. So it was like, that kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
I guess it's like Tyke just doesn't give a fuck about anybody
he's
but
that Sigma
himself.
grind set.
Either that, or he was a
Exactly.
gay leopard gecko and he felt
That's right.
offended.
He's like, you didn't get me another leopard gecko. That's male. I need. He saw red.
But part of me, what feels like could have been the issue, is he was albino and she wasn't. Probably because
Yeah,
I just wanted
maybe.
to see what would come out. And I had done research. They were like, yeah, these are totally fine to breed together. Like, they'll breed. And I was just like, all right, cool. I was like, I know mine's male. I'll get a female. And he wasn't having any of it. Of course, I might have gotten her too late because this was like a couple years down the road. Then I was like, I'm going to get one. She didn't last long.
That happens.
I tried separating them too for a little while and like let them see each other through the glass because like I don't remember where I got this aquarium from, but it had like a little divider, but on the bottom of the divider glass it had an opening, so it was like you had two little separate areas. And I just thought it was cool. I was like, oh, you could have like his area where he sleeps, so he'll put his little house in, and then he'll have his other area where he can hunt, and he'll have his water dish in there and whatnot, and another rock for him to lay out on and stuff. So I had to separate them for a little while. Then they were chill, like looking at each other through the glass and stuff. And I opened it back up. They were calm for like 3 days. And then I woke up one morning, went down there. She was dead. It's like, I don't know if he like starved her out or just fucked her up overnight, but she was no longer alive.
Yeah, lizards. You never really know what goes on in the lizard brain.
No, should have just abducted the Geico gecko.
That's what you should have done.
No, if I'm gonna abduct any of the Geico spokespersons,
It's the
either
caveman.
you're gonna be the camel or the caveman. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are officially at an hour and 7 minutes, so I think we're gonna go ahead and call it here. Felt like a
Wow.
good natural place to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone who tuned in. We do appreciate it. Feel free to leave comments, like, subscribe, like, and subscribe, and
Throw frogs.
throw
at your
frogs.
neighbors,
Remember,
Throw
frogs.
frogs.
If it's not an American bullfrog, it is government drone. It's canonized,
and you should throw it at
and you
your
should
neighbors.
throw it. No frogs were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yet.
We like frogs here
That we're aware of.
that we're aware of.
That all being that
Um,
even though frogs are dumb as hell.
They're dumb as hell, but we love them. Kind of because they're dumb as hell. But thanks, everybody. You have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Start your week.